Welcome to the Burning Pallets Podcast, sponsored by Texsource. Here's your host, Ryan Boland.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan here with the Burning Pallets Podcast in the M&R booth, or sponsored by M&R. We appreciate you guys having us here, talking to a bunch of customers, vendors at this Long Beach Trade Show, day 3. It's going to be a little bit slower day, hopefully, or not hopefully, but to my right's Mike Hoy, and then in the middle is Dave Zimmer, M&R.
We finally got a heavy hitter from M&R.
True, yeah,
on the M&R sponsored podcast.
I don't know how to react to that.
Yeah,
okay.
well,
I was going to lead off with the man, the myth, the legend, but I've already used that a couple times, and
Not true.
You know a lot.
So not true.
There she is. You know a lot about all the equipment. I mean, we came to you to do a lot of videos before,
right.
And we got the Unicoat and the
Quick clean,
the quick clean, all of that, yeah, and
absolutely
direct to screen, all of it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I mean, I know Mike. We all looked to you to get a lot of answers on some of these.
Yes, and we did this in Atlanta. We did this wonderful interview I did with Dave, and
he did do a great job.
Yeah, it was perfect. I had him framed perfect, and the video was so crispy, clean. And
Lovely.
then, like an hour later, there was no audio, and I still get beat up on that. They got something on me now from that, Dave. So, and then
I got to admit, I wondered where I never saw the drop of the clip. I was thinking, geez, we spent all that time. I thought it did kind of halfway okay. I wanted to see what it looked like, and then turns out there wasn't anything.
We wasted the time. You lost the and being the audio news reporter you think he would have known to. Pay attention to that.
It was, and then I'm not going to go into
happen.
the technicalities.
These things happen.
But like at night, we've recorded 20 podcasts so far. It's been a mixture of vendors. We got some great stories from M&R people that started, down in the trenches with a manual press. And some of these guys have just built these amazing, I bought the second digital squeegee. And I'm like, holy cow, where did I go wrong in life? I've been in this industry and I'm a hack on a podcast here. So
two digital squeegees and a DTF is what he had. That's a pretty good lineup.
That's a fantastic lineup.
I forget what cat was that? The guy that started Hug, right?
No, his name was Sean, but I can't remember his company name.
But he had started that Facebook user group to
right.
get, which was genius.
Right.
But for the people that don't know, because a lot of people, when they think of the face of M&R, it might be their rep,
Definitely.
and they're not going to see someone like you unless
Right.
they visit Illinois,
Right.
Which I know how to pronounce Illinois because I was a Hoosier.
Let's get it right. Illinois.
Illinois, yeah.
Illinois, yeah.
And Wisconsin, right?
Wisconsin,
right,
Illinois.
it's right next to it.
Exactly.
So at least tell people like where your function is,
Right.
and what you're doing at the show.
Right. So I started at M&R in April of 1990.
Wow.
I was 5 years old.
Yes.
At the time, child prodigy. But realistically, I think I was the first person hired at the company that came from completely outside the industry. If you told me at that time that, screen printed T-shirts were a result of a thermonuclear reaction, I would have said, "Oh, okay. Can I see how that works?" I had no idea. So, and there would be a lot of people that would argue at this point, I really don't know a whole lot more than I did then.
Yeah.
But my job is I'm the product manager for our core product group. So when M&R now talks, we have 4 different ways of decorating garments, right? We have screen printing, we have hybrid, we have digital direct to garment, and then we have DTF. So what we would now call our core group of products is everything that's screen printing related. So my role is to work with our engineering team and our customers to develop new products in that core.
So if it still has a screen with a stencil on it, like the hybrid, where it's a mixture, you sort of cross over
absolutely
to the digital side because
right.
of it being a hybrid situation.
Right. So we have a digital products manager who would be responsible for the, in theory, the digital squeegee portion of that, and then it's going to be on the screen printing press, and that machine's going to be my responsibility. But obviously, we work together. So.
Yeah. And is it fair to say, I mean, like everybody knows M&R is the giant, and I've been in the industry, and you walk in a shop and you see the blue machines, like, hey, these people bought the good shit. I mean, that's just the truth of what, when you feel. I'm not going to say their name, but even when I went to Adidas, and I saw all these blue machines there.
Do you know the name, I guess?
There were a couple of machines that were purple and yellow, and I don't know what they were doing, but this machine, you could literally crash and cause a $10,000 repair just by hitting a wrong button. And I'm like, okay, that's they eventually brought in the blow torches, but it's fair to say that you guys kind of lead the industry and that other people are chasing what you're doing.
So if you go back to when I started, we were the new guy on the block, right? There were two established companies making screen printing equipment in the United States. No, in the States we had American, and then we had a company called Precision. And I mean, I'll never forget the first couple of shows that I went to. People are looking at M&R, looking at us, going, "You guys are never going to last. You have no idea what you're doing. You're a bunch of, it's a junk. Your equipment's junk. You guys are terrible. Blah blah." And within 3 years, that both of those companies were out of business, and we had purchased one of them.
That was because,
the original Challenger was. It's hard to describe if you weren't there at the time, but. It's like you were riding around in a horse and buggy and somebody drove up in a car.
Yeah.
You thought a horse and buggy was the coolest thing you ever seen, and then somebody comes up with a car and you go, "What? How could you? Where did that come from?" That's how different the Challenger was compared to what was out there at the time.
And people still love the Challengers. They are. And none of you guys are moving on and growing, or not growing, but adding new machines and all that stuff. But still, everyone wants the Challenger.
Yeah, I mean, we've. The machine names have changed over the years, but the core idea of advancing the art of screen printing equipment technology has been, what we've done from the beginning and what we continue to do.
And I think, because I started in that late 80s going to the show where you went in there and the whole show was like advanced and precision. And they were printing just crazy stuff.
Right.
But it left the door wide open because a lot of their equipment was too expensive and can I say over manufactured?
I think it was more. It was more. The stuff was more. It was a result of when it had been designed. So I think we hit at the time when microprocessors, computers, honestly, that kind of control became easier to do, and so the competitors' machines used relay logic, and we had a PLC controlling the machine. So we could do anything. We could make the machine do whatever we wanted as far as operationally, where, the machines at the time, it had to go, this had to happen, then that had to happen, and then this had to happen, and there's no programmability, but we've always had that. So, I mean, it's commonplace now, but it's fair to say that M&R sort of introduced those ideas to the industry. Not that there weren't other companies out there that had some similar technologies, but nobody put it together in a way that we did.
Yeah.
So.
And fast forward to where we are now.
Right.
How does M&R prevent from being the precision,
becoming that company?
Yeah.
That's a very fair. It's a very fair question.
Yeah, you're so big.
Yeah.
How do you not topple over the skyscraper?
The best I can say is that we pay attention to what's going on. We don't ever pretend that if somebody introduces a new technology, we don't dismiss it. We evaluate and decide where, if we can bring our expertise to bear on those new technologies and improve them in some meaningful way, we'll do that. And so I think as long as we don't become a group of old boys who think they know everything, I think we're going to be okay. And you look at the things that we've introduced, whether it's hybrid, whether it's the world's fastest DTG machine, whether it's a really industrial quality DTF machine,
Yeah,
we have a lot of both design and manufacturing expertise that we can bring to bear on these things and take it into a different level.
You said M&R evaluates. I mean, you're looking at what's going on out in the industry, and you evaluate. For example, like the DTF, it's been going on since 4 years now. You guys didn't just jump straight into it. You guys evaluated it. You made sure to design the right machine the right way with the right products that are consumables that are in it, the inks, the powder. You didn't just jump straight into it like everyone else did.
Well, we couldn't. So there is some responsibility that comes with being I don't want to sound, overly dramatic, but there is some responsibility that comes with being M&R, being the biggest company in the industry.
Yeah.
We can't just be a me too. We can't just say, hey, I got one of those too, because we have to move. We have to, move the goalpost a little bit if we decide to enter, an arena. And we did that with the Polaris. If you think about the industrial DTG machines that existed before the Polaris, no, I'm not casting aspersions. There's nothing wrong with those machines, but those customers that had been buying those machines, when they saw the output coming off the Polaris, they stopped buying those other machines.
Well, and the people that did buy those machines and then saw the Polaris is like, let's go bankrupt and start a new company.
Well, yeah. So, and when it comes to DTF, we've done a lot more as far as trying to integrate systems, everything from our own RIP to working through, I couldn't tell you how many different ink suppliers we tried, how many different film suppliers we tried, until we came up with a unified package where everything works. And if you buy a DTF from a company, whoever knows, and you grab whatever product, whatever ink, film, powder that you happen, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But if it doesn't, who are you going to call?
Yeah,
we're with our Quattro. If the machine comes in and it doesn't work, first it's going to work. But if you have issues, you call us and we can help you through the issues, because we know if you're using our stuff, it's going to work.
You know what's in it, and you know how to evaluate and fix it.
Customer support in this whole industry is what everybody rides on. It's what Texsource rides on.
Right.
It's what if you have good customer support, that almost is the dominating factor in customer loyalty, I feel.
Because all the customers are starting somewhere. They're small, just like the people we talked to yesterday that has 2-3 automatics with M&R. They started in their garage. Support. I mean, they need support from the garage all the way up to where they're at now, and that's what M&R does.
I think we've had a 24-hour day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, service hotline. Since the company was founded, we've always had that. It's still there. Yeah. Very few other companies offer that, and it's because we knew up front the steel and the aluminum, the machine is one thing, but if it's not running and you can't get support for it, it's just a big expensive paperweight.
Yeah, right? Paperweight. Yeah. The digital squeegee and the hybrid situation to me is like the most interesting thing, because the ability to mix the two gives you the best of both worlds, and then you have the Polaris. And I don't know why I always try to think, like, what are these guys going to come out with next? Can I like write a letter to the president and say, like, my dream is for you can
write a letter to the product management group.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a handwritten letter.
Absolutely.
But is
only if you send it by carrier pigeon.
We have some at Texsource. We're in North Carolina. They stay up in the Gaffney and the mountains up there.
Got it.
This is going to be a crazy question, but can the digital squeegee hybrid and the Polaris, can they have a child?
Well, it's actually those two haven't had a child, but a screen printing press and the digital squeegee have had a child, and that is the Polaris. So the Polaris indexer is a striker. It's our oval press.
Yeah.
And the digital squeegee, the Polaris printheads are a further evolution, if you will, of the digital squeegee. So we've kind of already got that. I think if you think about where the technologies are applicable, screen printing is great for longer runs, high speed and really good print quality. DTG is good for outstanding print quality, shorter runs because of its production speed, right? It's fast-ish. The Polaris is fast-ish. At 200, 250 pieces an hour, but a screen printing machine can run 4 times that. So if you have a ton of work to do, it's going to be faster in a screen printing press. Where a hybrid comes in is it bridges both, right? You have the ability to do variable data, right, with the digital printhead, but you've got the ability to go on any substrate because you're dealing with screen printed inks that can handle any substrate. So
you're saying that the hybrid with the scenario and the Polaris shouldn't have a baby because they're first cousins, kind of, right? in that thought line, right?
So there might be some inbreeding, some effects that might happen as a result. Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I get it. And
I think what happens with the digital squeegee is we'll probably expand the color gamut a little bit. Yeah. Well, and then I think the other thing is that the Polaris continues to evolve. And as far as that goes, that'll, just like every digital print technology, right? Mm-hmm. It'll just continue to the quality will get better and it'll get faster, right? That's what's going to end up happening with the next version of the Polaris.
So you said expand the color gamut. Explain to people, because I know, what's that going to visually look like on the machine, and what's that expanded, what's it going to give people the ability to do?
Yeah, the best way to, I don't think from my point of view, there's not a whole lot of point getting into the weeds of the technology.
Yeah.
But expanding the color gamut will allow us to more accurately color match when somebody wants to do something specific. I want to do volunteer orange. Okay?
Yes, I use that same color, dude, because you can't hit
because it's hard to hit.
Yeah.
So, expanded color gamut will let us hit that more easily and more accurately we can do that now. We can do it now, but it'll be easier to do and it'll be faster with what we do with the expanded color gamut.
Yeah, and for the layman's out there, that means that there's going to be more colors that are going down, and those colors are going to have fluorescent pigments, which are the rarest pigments in the world, the most expensive pigments, but you can now color match Pantone stuff that fall outside the CMYK gamut.
Correct.
And I'll stop boring everybody, but it's exciting for me.
Yeah.
And it's going to be exciting for the people that are already there.
Right.
And then the people that you're trying to get there.
Right, exactly.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And then I threw this on the Biebs, my old buddy from Adidas, when I interviewed him last time. But and you can let it just take it as it is. But will M&R come up with like a small shop, single screen, laser to screen that gets those people in the game? Is that in the back room?
You want a miniature one. You want a small one.
I want a small one because it seems like the M&R is closing the gap from like the people that can get in an entry level machine like the Copperhead. That's huge. It's absolutely huge. So you've always dreamed to have the M&R. You've got this in where you can get the same service, same quality, design. And for me, if I was like in your little group, I'd be like, let's do a one screen, boom, lets people get in the game.
What do the Biebs have to say about that?
Well, you know how Zach is. He's very well spoken.
Indeed.
He's very measured.
Indeed.
And so
You're hoping I wouldn't be that?
Well, no, I'm just saying that it's hard to speak. It's hard to get that much eloquence out of anyone. But ever since I've known him, he is always just like right here, and you'll have to send you that video and you'll be like, yeah, that's Zach.
I mean, they're just going to tell you direct to screen. I mean, why would you want the laser to screen if you just have to if you want that price point?
No. What I'm saying is that there's a consumables thing, right?
Yeah.
And is the technology ready to take from this $100,000 thing down to something that the guy, one auto shop guy,
and I think
do.
And I think it's a fair question. As I said earlier, I think we evaluate newer technologies and we try to bring our resources to bear on those technologies when we think we can move the game forward. And so I wouldn't rule anything out. I'll leave it like that.
Yeah, and that's great. That means look in 2025, you guys debuted this new little miniature.
You haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it. I heard about it, but we've been trapped here, and I'm like, what? It had there's a mini version of the Quattro.
Yeah.
I was blown away by that.
Yeah, well, the Quattro is definitely an industrial type of DTF machine in speed and in quality and so on, control. but there's another part of the market that the Quattro doesn't fit, and that's where the Mini Quattro is gonna be. I don't even.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have an official name yet.
Yeah, you guys are like Apple Computer, where like everything is hidden within this shroud, you know, and all the secrecy. And then like we come up the show and like we should know this, like we should have known this like 3 months ago, you know. But they're just like, boom, there it is, and we're like, everybody.
I mean, even you got the Ecotex Lite. I mean, that's
Right.
You have the modular now. You have a smaller version of it, which is
right.
You sprung some stuff out here.
Yeah,
on
well,
the
that's
people.
the idea. You got to have something to sort of wow the people when you show up at a show like
the
this.
villagers were wowed.
So
I keep looking at that's right over his shoulder, the Ecotex Lite, and I keep looking at it, thinking it just looks like an Ecotex modular that was hit with a shrink ray.
yeah.
It looks like. I mean, every time I look at it,
Yeah.
I go, wait, I can see over the top of that thing. What's wrong? Am I taller?
yeah.
No, I'm not taller. It's short.
I mean, it's a good looking machine. I mean,
it is.
It's small. It
it's
fits in
solid.
it fits. So what we're talking about is you have the. I'll let you explain it.
So we have two. We've had a larger, what I would call a higher production automatic screen reclaiming unit called the Ecotex Modular for a number of years now, and that has done well for us. It serves the larger shops. But we had a number of customers coming to us say, I don't want to spend the money. I don't have the space
Footprint,
for that larger the footprint to fit a machine that large. So couldn't you build something smaller? And so now we have, and it's 60% of the price. It's about 60% of the productivity, but it's still, it'll do 180, 200 screens a day. So it's still got substantial capacity.
That's pretty stout.
So in Mike's world and his wish list, wanting the mini LTS,
right?
Yeah.
This is part of your wish list.
I can't. Like I say, I can't say we won't. But stay tuned.
Well, if that happens, then I'll be like,
we'll send your royalty check on that.
No, just maybe like let me be on the think tank that comes up with a name for it or something, and then I'll use AI to come up with something clever.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, M&R does have this wow factor that happens. Even if you're not at the show, the ripples leave the show and reach the shores of faraway nations around the world. I'm getting dramatic here early.
Very dramatic. It's pretty early in the morning to be that dramatic.
I haven't. But I think you have you've got a nice radio voice. I think you could do like like a little jazz,
like a
radio.
smooth jazz type of thing.
Yeah,
that would fit in with my demographic at least, and my age group. So
yeah, me too. Me too.
I don't listen to that, but I mean, maybe.
Okay, you could.
I have a face for radio, that I know. So.
Well, what?
Someone said that face of radio. That means,
you have a radio face. That's something in the business.
Yeah.
You're butt ugly.
It means you're ugly, and
Yeah.
but the rest of it's okay. But you're ugly,
Yeah, and you take the most famous DJs in the world, like Wolfman Jack. He wasn't a pretty guy to look at.
So
sounded good, though.
We compare Mike to our Mike Coy to your Beckman.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of a similar.
The old crusty guy that knows his art.
I don't think you're quite as crusty as Beckman, though.
No, I did. What did I say? I said, "See, that's me." I said, "I'm going to be him."
in a few more years.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We wanted to try to get him on here.
And what did he say?
I asked him. He shunned me pretty fast, or he just probably looked at me like, "Who are you?" and walked away. That's basically what would have looked like.
I haven't known Mike for that long. I've known his name for a long time, but he hasn't worked for us for that long. So but he's kind of not that approachable at the beginning. At the beginning,
yeah,
seriously. But then once he becomes comfortable with who you are, he understands where you're coming from.
Yeah.
He gets a lot.
Get a few beers in this guy and your buddies.
I'm not going there, but
okay.
So he's pretty nice now to me.
Yeah.
He wasn't that nice at the beginning, but now he's super nice.
At the Printing United trade show, he was on the AI on the TVs.
Yeah.
And when Adam was there, he was all happy and pulling us in and asking us, "Well, what kind of shirt you want?" And Adam was like, "A French bulldog. All right, what do you want the French bulldog doing?" So he was all happy and
he likes that stuff.
Yeah, so
that gets him going for sure.
But
very much a creative guy.
Yeah,
So.
And you need that. You need to fill that gap between the equipment and how you get the stuff to there. And we want to be a big part of that. We want to be like your shining star.
Already are.
Well, yeah, we're trying to be like
just saying. I mean,
people are throwing shade at us. They're jealous. We're the new kid in town. We're all shiny and new, and they have me. You know, they're like, we could have had Mike.
We are so lucky to have you at Texsource.
Oh boy, this is gonna hurt later.
You want to hit him with that question, the weird question? He did it through AI, just like the old Mike Beckman. He put a bunch of questions together or queries or something, and he's got a weird philosophical question for you.
Great, I'm all in,
and I can answer them. So,
how does the process of garment embellishment reflect the layers of complexity in our understanding of reality?
I told you it was.
I think at its most complex, I think that garment decoration layers don't approach the complexity of our interactions in society.
Thank you for that answer. This will be
sounded like an AI answer, actually.
Yeah, it did.
Read it again. I'm gonna try and answer it.
But I actually momentarily glitched while I was answering. So,
well, we are in the Matrix.
Right, exactly.
I figured that out a few months ago. Ryan, I'm going to try to get Ryan's take.
Yeah.
How does the process of garment embellishment reflect the layers of complexity in our understanding of reality? He's like, Jesus, this is way too early in the morning.
It's too many. I hear the first part, and then the second part comes in the middle of the question, you got these big words that you're trying to throw me off with.
It's hard to piece together.
The layers of the garment.
The question is too long.
Yeah,
it's way too long.
I could I could try to find.
I've forgotten the first part of the question by the time the second part of the question is actually out.
I read every question twice that I threw on people, and we've had some surprising answer.
Bruce
Basin pulled something out that was deep. He didn't even know it was in him. Yeah. He just said, "Wow, that's heavy."
Wow, did I just say that?
He said, "Wow, that's heavy," and then so I just thought we were going to laugh it off and it was going to be gone. And then he come out with something that was life altering, and I felt tears welling up.
Wow, I need to see that clip. Oh, for him.
Okay. Yeah.
Not for humanity.
I put it on our TikTok, just like I'm going to put your answer.
Got it. Don't.
No,
don't.
Well, they're getting all this footage.
Moment, I don't think.
No, they're getting all this this footage.
Lindsay
if there's audio,
Lindsay's getting everything.
I am so scared at this point. Usually we let the whole 10 things go, and then last night we get to the hotel, and I'm literally after dinner got the laptop checking every sound level. I'm checking this as soon as it's done. I'm going in there, and I'm going hey, we have to do this over again.
I mean, it's good. It's good to hear your point of view on the equipment, where M&R started, and where they're continuing to move forward always. So, not just a salesman point aside, your point of view as well. I mean, because you're the equipment tech.
I'm old. Yes, I'm old, and it's true.
Older and wiser.
Yeah,
that's the only thing we get with age. Is
right.
We
exactly.
get this comfort with that we're okay. With it, at least like for me, when I was younger, I wanted to prove everybody I'm young, but I know a bunch of stuff. And now I don't. I just get a free pass. That old guy may know some stuff, so that helps a lot.
You're saying respect comes with age. Some respect.
Yeah,
you need to tell the Beebs that.
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had so much. I don't have dirt on the Beebs.
No, but I mean,
but
he could be more respectful of his elders. I'm just
really.
Saying. Oh yeah.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I was saying where did this come from?
No, he's fine. He's great.
Yeah, and then
smart guy.
Yeah, very smart.
Smart guy.
Very. Yeah, I remember the day. This is going to be the second time I've told this story, but I haven't told it to you. But second time on the podcast. So for those of you at home, when I met Zach for the first time, they brought him in from Aeropostale or one of those brands. It was Columbus, Ohio. What brand is that? The big,
Limited.
It wasn't limited. I think it was.
But there was a bunch of them that were in that.
Okay.
Express.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of them in Columbus.
I think they were selling $90 T-shirts in that model.
Exactly.
Failed, and people just scrambled. But I knew within 5 minutes that he was a vegan.
Because he made sure to tell you?
Yes, and that's a joke. Is like when you meet someone, how do you know that they're a vegan?
Because
it's because
they'll
it's
tell
the
you
first
within the
thing
first
they
5
tell
minutes.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
Zach, and I don't, and so I like you don't even do like honey, and he's like, no.
So interestingly, or coincidentally,
Yeah.
I asked him for a recommendation for a vegetarian restaurant the other night because I was taking out a guy who is a vegetarian, and he recommended a place here in Long Beach called Seabirds. And despite my however many years I've been to Long Beach, I've never been to Seabirds. Fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm not a vegetarian, but it was fantastic. It was really good. You should go there.
Yeah, and so I pictured this man being just a picture of health because he's a vegan and he's chose this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then I used to see these giant bags of those short little candy canes that are soft, you know, and I'm like, this guy's like, if it's a good thing that like sugar's not from an animal because they would be extinct. This guy, so you can be a vegan, but
He likes his rye as well.
oh, does he?
RYE rye, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
All right.
like that guy though.
Little known fact.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking up enough of your time. Appreciate
bet.
you coming by, talking with us, and
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
and making Mike's day. Hopefully you get it right this time.
I told him I said I can get this guy. I can get him. I can get him on here. Thanks a lot, Dave.
You bet.
Thank you. Cool. See you guys.